How do I make my own fertilizer? Welcome to SustainableStace.com. You're going to find out today how to make your own fertilizer. It's really simple. You can demystify the different elements of fertilizer and know how to make it on your own in just a few simple steps.
I'm Stacey Taves. For me, healthy food and sustainability are totally connected. You can grow it yourself. Nature is generous.
Hi guys, welcome to Sustainable Stace. I want to talk to you today and show you about organic fertilizers. Everyone's probably been mystified at some point at what's in fertilizer, what does it do, but I think the better question is, how do I make it myself so it's not a bunch of chemically processed products? And that's what I want to work with you on today. Usually when you open or look at a bag of fertilizer, there's 3 numbers that are used. Each of them represents a different compound or ingredient that goes typically into healthy soil. It's a bit of a dumbing down formulaic approach to something as complex as soil, but the simple basic idea is that the first number is considered nitrogen, the second one's considered phosphorus, and the third one's considered potassium. In short, they're considered N, P, and K. So nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. If you want to make your own organic soil, it's really simple. If you go to a feed store or a garden supply company, you can buy in varying volumes, bulk or smaller, all the ingredients that go into good organic fertilizer. You can mix it up yourself as you need it, and it's usually a lot lighter on the environment, and you don't have big sacks of it lying around as well, and it's usually very chemically minimal compared to the way that most chemically processed fertilizers are. Now, the nitrogen is always the biggest part in terms of growing stuff, because nitrogen is all about green. Anything that's green is going to be healthy and helpful for your body, right? And when you're looking at anything that's leafy green that you're growing, you'd have to have nitrogen in your soil, and some plants need more nitrogen than others. But the main source for nitrogen that I use in organic fertilizer is alfalfa meal. It could be other types of meal as well, but alfalfa meal is really simple to procure. I just buy it in sacks. You want to do this mixing it outside and not on a windy day, or you're going to have to wear a dust mask. Just so you know up front, I'm going to tell you what the recipe is. It's going to be 4 parts of nitrogen, in this case alfalfa meal, and then 1 part of each of the other 3 ingredients, the phosphorus, the potassium, and then some lime to adjust or stabilize the pH in your soil. So first of all, 4 parts of the alfalfa meal, and again, like I say, it can be a little bit dusty, so I'm putting in 4 of those. That's always going to promote green, healthy growth on your plants. And when you go to be making your own backyard compost, it's really the nitrogen, again, the green and the color in your plants that adds the nitrogen back into the new compost that you build. So there's your 4 parts of nitrogen, which in this case is the alfalfa meal. Then your next part is your phosphorus. Now there's different places that you can get your phosphorus from. I use 2 different choices. I'm still not completely convinced which is better from an environmental or sustainable perspective. This is considered rock phosphate, so this has been mined. The other product that I use in place of rock phosphate is bone meal, which can be from animals that have been slaughtered, or they can be from fish that have been harvested. There's usually more trace minerals in bone meal than in rock phosphate, but phosphorus is going to do a whole lot of development in your plant for flowering and for fruiting. So without phosphorus, you're not going to get healthy flowering and fruiting. So that's your 1 part of your phosphorus. Then you go to your potassium, but potassium gets regarded as a K. And what I use for my K or my potassium is kelp meal. So this is just seaweed that's been broken down. So that's a pretty beautiful thing to get your potassium, or pop that in there. We're going to mix that up in a moment. And the other thing to realize then, you've got your N and your P and your K here, is that all soil holds nutrients. There's plenty of nutrients in soil. You're just trying to deliver it, laser focused to the root systems of the plants that you're growing. And when you do weed control, which is another video, and you've got no weeds in your garden, which is actually done super simply, then all the nutrition in your soil is going to get taken up only by the roots of the plants you're wanting to grow there. When I've implemented that so simply, guys, I'm getting 5-pound beets and 15-pound cabbages, organic and chemical free. Now, the thing here with lime and the pH of your soil is that if you don't have the right pH in your soil, it's kind of like putting all the nutrients in jail, right? And if they're in jail, they're not going to bust free and do all the good things they need to do in your garden. So this is dolomite lime, and dolomite lime isn't powdery. It's a little bit more granular, and it's going to be released much more slowly, just like the other ingredients we've put into here. Dolipril lime is going to be powdery and dusty usually, and it's a very fast release. I don't really like the approach that offers. So then you're just going to try to mix it up by hand slowly and carefully. When you get that all mixed up, you've got an awesome amount of that. The one caution I'd give you is that there's a few plants in your garden, especially if you're a person who grows blueberries, that don't sit in the same happy soil pH range. Blueberries is the one that likes a lower, more acidic soil, right? So you wouldn't put lime into your fertilizer if you're going to put it on blueberries. This is going to balance it out, get your pH a little more close to being neutral. Usually plants that are healthy and growing happily are in the 6 to 6.5 range in your soil. And we'll talk about testing your soil's pH in another video so that you can figure out how to do that at home really simply, do any minor adjustments you need to, get your plants happy. Once you've got that all mixed up like that, it's a beautiful thing. I just use a container then that I can store it in. I pop it into there, pop a lid on it, and I can keep it right in the garden with a waterproof lid on it. And with a lid on it, I can just haul it out whenever I need it. When my plants need a little bit of loving, they're ready to go. Thanks guys for staying in touch with Sustainable Stace. If you want to find out more, please feel free to subscribe down here and take a look at the website. Thanks.